Hello and welcome. It's the time of the year where students are preparing for NEET and everyone is tense. What will be the possible date when the NEET will actually take place? The same goes for the board examinations and also the JEE exams. But in this video, we'll speak to Kapil Gupta, founder of NEETprep.com, specifically about the preparation for NEET, what you should do over the next 4 months. Kapil, hello and welcome. Thank you very much for giving us the time. I hope you're doing well.
Sudhir, I'm doing very well, and thank you very much for your wishes.
Let's get the big question out of the way. Will the NEET take place on the 2nd of May, which has been the usual date for NEET over the past many years, not in the last couple of years, definitely. But 2022, will it again see a delay in the conduct of the NEET exam?
So, Sudhir, if we, I see a couple of things which makes me wonder if it is really feasible on 2nd May or not. First of all, the counseling process has just started. It is not going to finish for the existing students till 30th March. What that means is, if any student wants to decide, I'm not getting a college of my preference, or you know what, I want to write exam again. Those students, if exam is conducted on 2nd May, get only 1 month, because the final result of the counseling is going to be out by 30th March. The second thing is, my sense is that this being election season, this being a significant electorate in all the colleges, at least the households, are stakeholders of the exam their kid is going to write. So at this point of time, giving out exam date, I don't think is politically prudent. My sense is dates are not going to come before the last day of voting, which is 7th March in UP, right? And from that point onwards, pure logistics of it, giving 1 month of time for people to respond. This is a vast country. Some people will get to know about notification on the 20th day. So they typically give a month. Then they give 7-day window for any correction you want to have. Then a month later, they'll check all the details through whatever software they have. They'll push out the admit card. And from admit card, at least 15 to 20 days. So 37, 167 plus 15. So which means we are talking about at least 3 months from 7th March, right? April, May, June. So it should not happen before 10th to 15th June minimum. My sense more is towards end of June.
Okay, so end of June is what you're looking at, which means that students have the entire Feb, March, April.
5 months.
Yeah, 4 to 5 months in order to prepare. Now, given the fact that the CBSE schedule for board examinations, the semester 2 board exams is also not out, and I guess the Education Ministry will need to coordinate between the dates of the board exams, the NEET, the JEE exams, etc., so that there is no clash leading to more angst among students. So, do you think that the board exams will wait for all the entire board exam process to get over, and thereafter only announce the date for the NEET, which is why you are saying that this June time is what looks more possible?
Ideally, yes. But again, the thing is, when are they going to announce these board exam dates also? I gave you a scenario where they give the notification in a month's time. If they are going to give a notification in a month's time for NEET, I'm assuming they should come out with a notification for CBSE in a couple of weeks. What is your sense? You are much better informed with the iron curtain which exists for normal people.
Well, the iron curtain is rather strong these days. In fact, most of the bureaucrats also, my senses, do not kind of reveal much, because the decision making is not really at the level of the bureaucrats anymore. Many of the decisions we have seen in the last couple of years have taken place at the political level, whether it was with respect to cancel the exams altogether, or to postpone or take any major decision. So nothing really known, because even the semester 1 results were not announced. Everyone was expecting it to come at least in the first half of Jan. That did not happen. The dates they will have to announce sometime around the 20th of February max, because then they will need to give a month, because one is assuming that the board exams will take place sometime in the month of April, by which time the elections, everything, the entire process also would have got over. The other question that I wanted to ask Kapil is that now 12th class students who are appearing for NEET, now they have kind of dealt with a much reduced syllabus for class 12. How does something like that impact a student who is preparing for NEET at the same time? Because that would mean the entire thing has to be covered. How do they kind of grapple with two kind of scenarios, one reduced syllabus, one entire syllabus? And what should be the strategy?
So Sudhir, ideally, so last year they created this pattern in NEET exam, like in JEE, where there were internal choices. There was a section A, there was a section B. And
Yes.
section B was supposed to cater to the fact that in a lot of schools, students were taught as per reduced syllabus, assuming that every student is not going to a coaching. Can he clear an exam like NEET just by going through his school studies? So it was assumed that if any question is going to come from beyond reduced syllabus, it would come in section B so that students had the option of leaving it. It did not happen at all in NEET exam.
Hmm.
Probably there was a communication gap between what the education minister Mr. Nishank was saying earlier and what was given in the notification and what finally happened. So what we have been telling students right now on our platform is they should not assume that it would be a reduced syllabus. You might have had reduced syllabus in your board exam in your term one, but don't assume reduced syllabus in your NEET exam. Having said that, if you look at physics, not all complete chapters have been removed. Complete chapters have been removed in class 12th and class 11th for these students. So those specific chapters they will have to study, but what they can do is they can study them right towards the end rather than now. They might come out this time and say very, very strictly, whatever happens, we are going to give the complete exam from reduced syllabus only. So which will save them out of 96 chapters, approximately 13 to 14 chapters, complete 13 to 14 chapters and specific portions in different chapters. So my recommendation would be go by your board exam and school exam syllabus for 11th and 12th for NEET
Right.
also.
Hmm.
Wait for the notification. Notification will clarify whether it is going to be complete syllabus or not. If it is
Okay.
complete syllabus, read the balance chapters from there on.
Okay, that's an important suggestion to give so that they can kind of save on that much of time. The other important point is how do they prepare for the mock test, given that mentally they would have about 4 months? Would NEET be conducted more than once this time? Would it kind of shift also to an online format like JEE? What are you hearing from your sources?
I believe that I believe, but my belief doesn't mean much. I believe it should happen online and it should happen twice. The mandate of NTA. I don't know. You have interacted with senior people at NTA. What I've heard when I've interacted with them is they want to become a world class testing agency. They want to offer their services beyond India. If they go out and say to people that we conduct pen paper OMR exams, it looks terrible, right? So my sense is this being probably one of the biggest exams in the world, NEET, in
Yes.
terms of number of people who are writing the exam. If you obviously remove the exams like that exam which caused riots in Bihar right now, for which 1.25 crore people wrote for 35,000 seats. If you look at competitive exams, 16 lakh, this is one of the biggest exam. My sense is it should happen twice, which is good for the students. It should happen online so that all this discrepancies and noise every year which happens because of pen paper OMR format that goes away. So that is my sense. It should happen twice and it should not happen in pen paper OMR format.
So if that happens, would that call for a different kind of preparation strategy on part of the students, especially with respect to mock tests?
Pen paper OMR, filling OMR typically takes 15 to 20 minutes. What that means is you truly get all the 180 minutes rather than actually only 160 minutes out of 180. So what that means is you can allocate more time in your mock test uh, when you're writing these mock tests rather than provision only 160 minutes. But Sudhir, this is where I again want to know from you, are you hearing from these people whether they're going to announce anything? Forget about notification, at least purely from the logistics of how kids are preparing, they
Yes.
should know whether it's going to happen twice or not. They should know whether it's going to be a huge relief if it happens twice. For a lot of kids, they walk into the examination hall for the first time and they freeze. It is overbearing. So I hope they announce at least this thing that it is going to happen twice and it is going to be online, but you're also not hearing anything like this.
Nothing at all. In fact, if you recall, February end was when the first phase of JEE took place last year, 2021. We haven't heard anything on when JEE is going to be conducted this year. So in that sense, as you say, there is an iron curtain. There isn't much of information coming from the NTA or from other wings of the education ministry as to what they are thinking or planning. And I completely agree. This kind of puts, keeps the students on tenterhooks. They don't know whether there will be any kind of change at the last minute, whether there will be any change in the 4 attempts of JEE or any change in the attempts of NEET, of course, which will be to the advantage of the students. My final question, the 2021, you spoke about the counseling at length for the 2021 batch. Assuming that all goes well with 2022 batch, this would mean that there would be just a few months difference between the 2021 and the 2022 batch. How do you think this would play out at the medical college level?
Let's look at the quick timelines. For this year, 2021 batch, who got significantly delayed, the counseling is going to go going on right now. That is going to finish complete allocation on 30th March, which means colleges, in all fairness, students know they do their travel arrangement, they come there, they have finalized their hostel, they settle down, and classes start probably 1st May. So 1st May becomes date for 2021. Assuming end of June is the earliest date for NEET 2022. So end of June exam happens, a month later, 30th July result come, 15 days later counseling starts, and counseling like this year is a 2-month process, right? So which means 15th August, so 15th September, 15th October, your counseling ends, and 1 month later. So earliest 15th November is when these people can start for 2022. So we are talking about May, June, July, August, September, October, 6.5 months. So that is very less. And which means there would be an overlap of 5.5 months between these students, and that overlap will continue for all the 5 years. So, but beyond
in terms of logistics for the medical colleges, that will be quite a Herculean task.
I was talking to Dr. Mishra, who was ex-director of AIIMS before Dr. Guleria right now. He said it has happened in the past, but my sense is he was talking about isolated cases. When AIIMS were new AIIMS came up, 6 new AIIMS came up, then it happened. Specific colleges, it happened when they come up. But you have to apply it to all the private and government medical colleges. Even a lot of government medical colleges are not completely starved. Private medical colleges suffer from this endemic problem that they don't have enough faculty. I don't know how practical it is. So I don't know the answer to it. We are not going to get a clear-cut answer for this from the government. Government ka attitude typically hota hai, ho jayega, sir, we'll do it. That is what probably the bureaucrat says to the political person who asks whether it can be done. But when it comes to the ground, it seems like a tough situation for both 21 and 22 students. Number of labs, number of cadavers on which you can dissect, the size of the lecture theaters, the tutorials, etc. that happens after that. So the whole capacity is going to get significantly stretched.
Yeah, but as far as the 2022 batch is concerned, the students who are preparing for NEET 2022, 4 months, which is the business end of your entire academic year preparation time. So you need to make the most of it. I mean, that would, I guess, be the larger message that needs to go out, right?
Yeah.
Right. So 4 months is what counts, and you need to make the most of it. Thank you very much, Kapil, for joining us here.